speaking of interesting people, Percy Harvin, okay,
Yes.
number one player in the country, 2005, 2006. Freak, Lansdowne High School. Chris Beatty, who's now, I believe, with the Rams, but coached with Pitt and West Virginia, and he was the high school coach there. Percy Harvin was the fastest player I've ever seen around the corner, and essentially he ran the longest leg of the 4x100, I believe, if I remember correctly, because he was so fast, but he was so fast for so long. So
Right.
everybody's like, why isn't he running the anchor leg? Well, that's why. And they would always, if there was any deficit, they would make it up on his leg. I think it's the third leg of the 4x1. I don't run, so I don't know. But not the nicest kid in the world. Not mean, but not nice. He
Like
announced with me
disconnected
on,
from people.
what's that?
He's like disconnected from people.
He announced with me on ESPN
Yeah.
with his teammate,
Yeah.
McDaniel. I forget his first name. McDaniel.
Because they were going to school together.
Yeah, and I think ESPN had them 1-2 in the country.
Yeah.
Damon McDaniel? I don't remember. He went to Florida State, didn't pan out. And
Yeah.
Percy obviously went to Florida, did pan out. But they
Well,
were on
Percy was committed to Florida State, right?
Who?
Percy for a while. I think he was committed. Wasn't he committed?
Not to my recollection. Damon McDaniel was they wanted to go to school together, and I think Florida kind of backed off on Damon, but they wanted Percy. But I don't think he was committed to Florida State. That doesn't ring a bell. If it was, then I forgot. But he was on ESPN, and I remember, at ESPN at the time we were doing commitments, and the kids were all like super excited about it, and I would, sell them to the producers and say, "Oh, this kid's gonna be the next real deal. We got to have him on." Blah 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 blah. And Percy wouldn't go on without Damon, and blah blah. So I'm like, okay, fine. And they're usually super nice to the producers and all that stuff. And he just one-worded everybody, and I'm just looking around like, I don't really know what to say. This kid's not giving me anything. And then, of course, the commitment was kind of awkward, and it was really, really bad. But the biggest story I have about Percy Harvin is USC was recruiting him. They flew all the way across the country, showed up at his house, and the family wouldn't let him in. Just wouldn't let him in. They called first, and they didn't get him because you couldn't get him on the phone.
Yeah.
And they didn't respond to texts or anything like that. So they just decided to fly out, and they were recruiting other kids in the area, but drove all the way out to his house, and they were home, but they refused to let him in.